Hey guys, do you know someone considering renting their property as an Airbnb? I have worked with Rental Advisor for over a decade, and Rental Advisor provides free rental projections to prospective owners, realtors, and investors for any property in the US. So if you know someone considering getting into the vacation rental industry, have them email management@myrentaladvisor.com to get their free revenue projections. So a couple of years ago, I posted a short video on the subject of freedom. We live in a culture that seems to want to liberate everyone from everything. Even our own biological realities are seen by many as oppressive. So I made this short video as I came to realize that many errors are made when people accept this modern presupposition that we are born completely free. At first glance, it may seem true, but I think on closer analysis, it reveals something different. I hope you enjoy the episode. One of the most famous thinkers of all time is the French philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau. And one of the most famous quotes from him is this idea that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. So, just think about that. People come into this world and they're thrust into all sorts of expectations and duties and norms, etc., that kind of come to them from their society. And, Rousseau sort of asked, does it have to be that way? Why do we have to have all these norms kind of foisted upon us? And these things tend to, put us into chains. Later, there was another French thinker in the 20th century, Jean-Paul Sartre, who expanded on this idea with his notion that our existence precedes our essence, or in other words, that we are a free human being just by existing. That freedom as a human being existing precedes any sort of essential characteristics that are given to us by society. This is the idea that we are born free with a blank canvas in front of us that is our lives, and it is ours to paint however, we want. And that it's sort of this classic romantic picture of the free human spirit, be whoever you want to be. You think about movies like Eat, Pray, Love, and there's a lot of others that kind of play on this theme of the free human spirit and how if we just break away from sort of the standard customs, we can enter this better way of being where we truly embrace our freedom. But there's a problem here. You could ask the question, is man really born free? And the answer seems to me to be no, not even close. Look at a baby. Is a baby free? No. A baby is a slave to its needs, and it's totally dependent on others for basic survival. Instead, what we actually witness as we watch a baby is that as they grow, that growth provides the baby with greater and greater levels of freedom. Now, some people may think, well, maybe this only applies to babies, but that's not the case. Babies are not the only human beings with constraints placed on them by reality itself. They are not the only human beings who, through growth, can experience greater levels of freedom. So I don't know if you remember, there was a story from childhood that's kind of the story of the grasshopper and the ant. Kind of laughing at the ant who's over there, toiling away. But what the moral of the story is that the grasshopper is ignoring the brutal chains of winter, of reality that are coming whether he likes it or not. The ants in this story kind of are like the sages of history, the wise people of history that understood that reality itself is going to smack you down if you ignore it. And there are laws that govern reality. And so while the ants conform their behavior to what the laws of reality are by gathering food in the summer, adopting responsibility, the grasshopper ignores it and is starved when the winter comes. So the moral of this story is really, who is really more free in the end? What is the true path to freedom? Now, humans can rightly be seen, I think, as working together as a body to free themselves from the chains of reality, both physical and metaphysical. In other words, we're trying to understand how reality works so that we can figure out how to live and to create norms in order to help us get through the reality that we find ourselves in, what I would call the chains of reality. So certainly human beings have often been misguided in this. We're trying to figure it out. But the long arc of human progress shows that human beings today are immensely more free than we were when we lived in caves and died in mass from, changes in the weather. So how did we do it? Well, just like the ants did, we adopted responsibility. In other words, we observed the cause and effect relationships in reality, in other words, the laws that govern how reality works, and then we responded accordingly. In other words, we responded by creating rules for living which were instantiated into norms, institutions, traditions, value systems, religion, etc. And we created civilizations, societies. The wisdom of our civilizations act like maps that help us to expand our freedom by harnessing the laws of reality to our benefit. Not all civilizations and societies did this equally well or do this equally well. Some maps of reality are more accurate, are more true, and some maps are terrible and lead to misery and destruction or just unnecessary tyranny. Now, every society tries to give you a map to copy from, but you ultimately will have to construct your own. Yes, you could just incoherently doodle enjoyable little things and ignore the treacherous journey of life that you'll inevitably take. But don't be surprised when the chains of reality wrap themselves around you, like the cold wind that was the demise of our grasshopper friend. Freedom really is only found on the other side of responsibility. So do you enjoy the content here on Thoughtful Faith? If so, be sure to hit the notification bell. This ensures that our new videos show up on your feed. Also, be sure to check out our Facebook group called Thoughtful Saints, where myself and others discuss the sorts of topics found on this channel. And lastly, if you think other people would benefit from this video, please be sure to share it.